Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana, and today we are going to be looking into more of The Maid's Tale. We're going to be doing more of chapter 6, and we've got all of her perspective on what happened with Jacopo to look at now. Now, as you could maybe tell by the video I made yesterday, I actually did a little bit of rereading of chapter 2. I've wanted to make this video for quite a bit of time, but yeah, I'll just show you it now. This one here, most disturbing track I've listened to. But yeah, I really realised just the amount of laughing that was present. You could just so tell that Morgana was completely mocking Yukimasa, and I have genuinely come to the belief that if it wasn't for Morgana, Yukimasa would not have gone insane. I genuinely believe that, and I think he would have been able to become a human under the guide of the maid. It's just Morgana totally mocking Yukimasa and really being awful. And I always thought that he was somebody who had some sort of internal voice going on inside him, some sort of alternate personality, just really discouraging him from doing anything. But that's Morgana, and that's the weird thing. But it's just interesting when you realise that, because you can tell that Morgana is completely hell-bent on making Giselle's life as awful as possible. Firstly, my question is, what the fuck happened to Morgana to make her this creepy? And it's not just as if she's creepy. Sorry, creepy? I meant to say malicious. I don't know why I said creepy, but it's not just as if she's malicious for a little bit of time. No, she has kept this behaviour up for hundreds of fucking years, and she's kept this up for hundreds of years. She has lived for that long, and just in hatred. She's so dedicated is what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's just weird. And then to think about the fact that you have connections with a good person like Michel, even though you are probably the most evil character in... Well, no, you're the most evil character in the cast. Or at least from what we know you are. I don't know if there's maybe something good about her, but I think it's unlikely. I wonder when she lived. I really do. Also, I love this background. The fuck? Oh. My House in Fata Morgana copy is now personalised. What the hell? My mouse just glitched. Imagine that a visual novel that was... those stupid Mario 64 is personalised. Creepypastas, and the visual novel version of it. That would be really fun. Like Higurashi, but everything is personalised. That would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah, so how can you laugh? She's very manipulative. It is interesting. A single phrase. Yeah, totally reasonable, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, no chance of falling in love with her. Yeah, and his wife out of everybody. Hey, head. He just speaks so unprofessionally, it's hilarious. Damn. So I'm assuming this is another servant he's talking to. What, a maid? No, an Abigail even. What's that called? Oh god. You know, if I'm going to be honest, when you see this dialogue to begin with and you see how abusive Jacopo is to the white-haired girl, it's just seriously surprising that it could have been the case that maybe without Maria intervening, he could have had a nice relationship with the white-haired girl. It's just hard to believe when you see this. Oh wait, I misread this, sorry. I thought it said get out of here. Like, I don't know, talking to another servant that was there or something. Yeah, God, she's dumbfounded. Isn't it interesting that Giselle holds so much composure, but then the second she sees Michel, she just completely loses it? Interesting. Oh, I get it. Yeah. 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 She doesn't even know. And I just find it really interesting that even though she has the same name, and obviously she has the same traits as Michel, she's getting mad at the fact that she's never met her. I mean, I'm sorry, but I know that you've loved somebody, but isn't that a bit ridiculous to hope that even though this person is the same, they're going to remember you? I mean, it's a completely different person. And if anything, I think she's being quite unrealistic, but it's totally reasonable given how much time she's waited for Michel. Totally. Yeah, totally reasonable. I mean, you have done such a ridiculous amount just for this. God. You can really tell that she is... Well, she's really, really finding this difficult. She could probably do this. You've really got to be careful what you wish for. Yeah. Fair enough. This is probably what she enjoys so much. It isn't, no. No, that's how you can properly tell that Michel was involved. Fair enough. I love that she guesses. Yeah, totally. But this is interesting. I mean, I don't know why Morgana has to live forever, though. Or does she... Is she actually able to end her life if she wants to? I mean, you want company, and yet at the same time you will do, for example, what you did with Yukimasa to ensure your company. I mean, my god, that's so weird. You can just tell this person is really selfish, if you ask me. That's kind of what that implies. True. Yeah, I'm surprised that Morgana's actually telling the truth here. I thought at first when she was saying this, yeah, she was going to try and convince Giselle that maybe she never really... Well, maybe she's just trying to convince herself that Michel... The story in... well, the story that made her submit to Morgana is... was somebody else's story, and she's just simply trying to believe it was hers. And she's forgotten that she's even tried to believe it. That's what I thought she was trying to imply there. But no. I mean, it is her name, it's just she's sometimes called she's called the maid as well as Giselle, but that is her name. So who are you then? Fair enough. But the only thing is, I mean, why is the maid the witch of the mansion, even though Morgana is the person who has granted her all of these powers? None of them. True. I get that, that's interesting. How false. How ridiculously awful of her to say that. She's just totally trying to manipulate Giselle so that she forgets who she is. Because the thing is, though, I mean, time totally works to her favour because she's lived for so long that she doesn't remember anything about what has actually happened. She just remembers the feelings that she has had. She just kind of remembers the feelings and obviously the strength of those feelings, but she doesn't actually remember what caused those feelings because it's been so long. How can you remember said thing? And now she's just totally taking advantage of it, trying to make the past seem as if it's exactly the same as the present. I mean, no, but surely there could be another reason for that? No, you haven't. That is actually a good point, but at the same time, we don't know much about this character. How can we say that this is the reason? I think the question that needs to be asked now is, if you were so entranced with this story, what happened to Giselle? I mean, obviously Michel died, but then what happened to Giselle if you were just watching from an outsider's perspective? And why is it the case that when you go into the mansion that's completely devoid of reality, and the one that's totally dark as well, there's I don't know. I mean, Michel has left the mansion, but there's no indication of Giselle leaving. But I don't know. I mean, there's no life whatsoever. There's no insects, no rodents, no nothing. So obviously, why would there be a human being? I kind of counteracts that point. Yeah, totally. And that shows the power of a proper manipulator, which it seems like Morgana really is. Yeah, because of the fact that what you do is you try to deny your own self. You try to deny the fact that you have ever experienced these things. And to be honest, I mean, we don't fully know Morgana. Maybe this could be the truth, but I'm sorry, if that's the case, why make yourself suffer this much, and after, like, I don't know, 800 years or something, or nearly 800 years, tell her? Why would you not tell her instantly? I mean, it's not... I mean, nearly 800 years, it's insane. It's totally reasonable for her to buy into this. But the only thing is, I mean, I think it's a bit ridiculous to think that she has looked into someone's interesting story and she's become so entranced with it that it's her story. Why is that the case? Why is it the case that she feels so passionate about it that she's been able to remember it for all this time? I mean, I'm sorry, but would a story you've read be able to do that to you? I just think that's a bit ridiculous. If I'm going to be honest, even if this love was genuine and Giselle was an actual person, it's still ridiculous, if you ask me. Imagine if Giselle was Morgana, though. That would be really cool. But I think that's very unlikely. I don't trust her. Yeah, good for you. God, I remember when she was thinking of trying to strangle the white-haired girl just because of how much stress she had. You are an observer. You've always been. Of course. Yeah, it's just really interesting, that kind of separation from reality. I suppose you've got reality and then you've got her situation, which is so fantastical. It makes reality seem like a story. That's hilarious. Yeah, and it's totally disconnected. Oh, is this the phonogistoscope CG? Yeah. Is this going to be like a slideshow of the events? Nope, we're just seeing people dancing. Okay. Oh, no, I think it is. It's kind of like what we saw in chapter 1. Oh, no, it isn't. No. God, this background looks so good. Seriously, the art here is so talented. Ironic. Isn't it interesting that Jacopo has been living here for his entire time and the maid has not changed at all? I wonder what he must think of that. Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. Oh my fucking god! Is this really going to do what I think it will do? Yeah. It really is just kind of like a mockery of the maid's story. God. Yeah, totally. I just find it really interesting how the maid has changed here. She's literally talking like Morgana now. Yeah, you're damn right. I love that the maid couldn't tell. Does he mean by ailment? Alright. An illness or physical disorder, especially a minor one. Oh wait, they can... It could actually be chronic as well, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, it is what he wanted at the end of the day, but still. I think the saddest thing is he did not deserve any of this, and he had such a natural connection with Michelle. It's just Maria. She fucked everything up. And it's not as if she fucked everything up. She made it so bad that there was no hope of return at all. And if anything, the only hope and understanding came when somebody ran and probably died. Yeah, I suppose you will never be able to wait so long that you just completely become insensitive to the pain and feel joy as a result. Well, no, you win over your pain, but the only reason she's been able to win over the pain is because of manipulation, let's be honest. Isn't it interesting that she even suggests that? It's just because she knows how bad the pain is. Yeah, just doubting what you have seen. And I mean, Jacopo is quite old as well, so maybe it could be dementia possibly kicking in. But to be fair, I mean, with a lot of people who have dementia, they remember their childhood a lot. So, I don't know. They remember their childhood and also memories that are really quite important to them. So it's hard to tell. Yeah. It's reasonable that Jacopo says that. That's the most horrible thing that you could say. And the worst thing is, it is kind of true to a certain extent. I bet you the Berzatti family has completely collapsed, and I mean the Campanella family. So it was Maria's. It was her grandfather, and also no, who was killed? I forgot. Yeah. So it's the father and grandfather. So I mean, from that, there's probably, I think both families are probably fallen apart, to be honest. And maybe there's some sort of other family that has gone into power. Who knows? There isn't. And same for the maid, to be honest. But of course, I mean, she's lived in 1099. All of her relatives are long since gone. That must have been so hard coping with the loss of the relatives, though. I mean, that's just one of the many pains she must have experienced, and just not knowing how they are, what they're doing, how their lives are progressing, not knowing if they're alive or dead, and just having to probably believe that they are dead after a certain amount of time has passed. Yeah, I do too. It really feels like we're going into the unknown now. Oh yeah, that's reasonable. That's interesting. What am I listening to? Sounds like rain. Weird CG. God, yeah. Which ironically did happen. How unusual. So that is really interesting to think about the fact that we have no idea who we are, and I suppose it is... I don't know. What I just find really unusual is the fact that we can... Well, so firstly, I mean, the maid is interesting. You can just see another indication of how much she has forgotten. She literally sees the person who is Michel and the person who somehow remembers everything, and obviously the person that Morgana has finally the person that has finally been reincarnated. But how that happened is anybody's question, and why Morgana isn't here is also, like, in the present is anybody's question. But it's just interesting that she doesn't recognise anything. Yeah. So what I find really unusual here is just the fact that we see an indication of all of the stories being told by somebody else. And I suppose even the chapter 4 where I suppose even chapter 4... Wait, no, hang on a second. So, we see all the stories from the maid's perspective. No, I'm a bit confused now. No. So no. I think the first 3 chapters make sense. It's just the retelling of chapter 4 which I'm finding a bit confusing. So the maid obviously tells the story of the love through the perspective of somebody who is simply watching, and even though there is no maid at the time, which is interesting, it just tells you an indication that the story is false. And I suppose there's so little memory of the story that, if anything, it's so weird because... Now, do you know what? I think I'm going to try and explain chapter 4 when I have seen what happens if we accept the maid's tale. I'm just finding it a bit hard to picture. And I do hope we get an explanation here. But the only thing is, we remember we are Michel. That's the weirdest thing. And the white-haired girl in chapter 4 is, I suppose, the person that we fell in love with. So it's just simply the maid thinking the event, being manipulated by Morgana and thinking that she is viewing the events simply from... Well, no, she experienced the events simply from the perspective of somebody spectating. And, I suppose the white-haired girl is the person that Michel falls in love with, and he should remember himself because of her. But she doesn't. I think it's that. I don't know. Maybe there's a bit more to it, but yeah. Yeah, fair enough. It's really cool seeing the story from Michel's perspective now. Fair enough. That would not because of Morgana. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, and it's not just as if you're subject to it. You have to cooperate. I mean, look at the sick things she had to do with the Yuki Masa's time. I mean, I get that she was able to kind of distance herself from the events, but I'm sorry. Making a human soup, for example, that's surely got to damage you. God, it must be awful. That cocoon analogy, that must have really helped her. I wonder what she would have done without Hayden, to be honest. God. I mean, the things she must have seen when Yuki Masa was there, I don't even want to imagine. I mean, Yuki Masa is, well, the biggest psychopath. Yeah. And not only that, but yeah, true. And you can't blame her, that's the thing, because so much time has passed, and also Morgana. Yeah, totally. But I just don't understand why Morgana has ever forgiven her, and why she has gotten what she wants. But I suppose it's kind of like a humiliation. You're gonna wait so long for what you want that you totally forget it. And then when everything's forgotten, you're going to finally remember. Sorry, when everything's forgotten and you have lost sight of who you are yourself, you're going to finally see the person that you have been waiting for so long. It's just horrible. It really is. He was dead? I mean, is there a better reason? Oh, wait. Is it, maybe because of... Is it maybe the ending part of her death? Yeah. It is the worst time. You really do get the impression that Morgana has manipulated fate for some reason. I just really do wonder, like, the final visitor. I just really do wonder, like, just what this is about. Oh my god, this is Michel! What? Oh my god. Sorry, I've got to reread this. That's interesting. So that obviously indicates supernatural here. Is this Morgana? I really do wonder. Oh my god, that's so interesting. Yeah, fair enough. That's totally reasonable. Who would want to remember something that has caused this amount of torment? I mean, the amount she has experienced is unimaginable. Fair. Fair enough. I just find it really interesting. I mean, you can not blame her whatsoever because of how long she has had to wait, but it's just interesting how unrealistic she is. I mean, Michel has died. Why is it within his control? What has happened? Sorry, what happens to make him come back? I mean, isn't it ridiculous? I suppose it is ridiculous that a dead person has come alive again, but why do you think that he should show up? I mean, why is it his fault whatsoever? He couldn't have done anything about this. Who can do anything about their fate? Fair enough. And that's the saddest thing, of course she isn't. But this is not the Michel that she knew anymore. They are stained with blood, that's the worst thing. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. And if anything, everything's too painful for her so that she doesn't want to speak her mind at all. She doesn't want to, because obviously speaking her mind would mean going back to the incident, reliving it. Yeah, she thinks Giselle is dead and the maid is what replaced her. They are objectively the same people though. That's the thing. But of course that's the case. I mean, you are the same person, it's just you've had such a tricky life that you've broken. That is actually a good point, but I mean, why would she be getting so emotional over everything? Well, actually, no, that is a really good point she says there. Never mind. Oh no, might try moving my webcam here to see how it goes. Actually, there's no point. Sorry about this. Yeah, it would be. That's the funny thing about all of this. All of this would be so understandable, especially this. I mean, if it wasn't for Michel, Morgana would never have shown up and would have never subjected Giselle to this fate. Oh my god, that's the only choice. Oh, we've got no choice. I suppose now she just can't bear everything and she's just broken. I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, but it is interesting. That still remained, of course, but then Morgana convinced her that kind of about the perspective thing. So, that kind of meant that she felt as if always she was listening to somebody else's stories. But I suppose now she realises those stories are her own. So, yeah, I suppose it's different in that sense. Yeah, of course they are, yeah. I agree. Yeah, believe it. Because let's be honest, the maid lives eternally. It's not as if she's suddenly going to be able to die. I mean, you might as well fall in love with her so that her life is good. She's got a long way left to live. But also it's the case that it's just for your relationship as well. And for her happiness and her future. And it is interesting that Morgana has quite literally made her a personification. No, not personification, like a I don't know why I said that, but just the metaphorical person. No, the physical embodiment of death. I mean, how are you going to go? Oh, I know it's hopeless. What are you actually going to do? Fair enough, yeah. You have got to be kidding me. I really, really hope that this works out. Somehow. But it just really feels as if it's never going to. Is this what Morgana wanted? You have got to be kidding me. So what happens now? Or is this the end? Moment of hesitation. That's really interesting. So it's odd to think about the fact that Michel completely falls and he becomes nothing and everything goes. His spirit, I suppose, has no reason to live. So as a result of that, he just simply can't be with Michel. What's going to happen with Morgana now? Imagine if the maid and Morgana fall in love instead, or something ridiculous like that. I don't know. Yeah. But the only thing is, I mean, if you have somebody who is so in pain, then of course, you need to say something instantly. There's only a few seconds. She definitely did. It's just time that has affected her. This is going to be interesting. After all of this living, this is what you decide. Because of the fact that it's caused you too much pain. fair enough. I mean, you have lived nearly 800 years for this. No, over 800. Still. Right. Well, she's not a psychopath. And let's be honest, she was completely overwhelmed with her feelings. I get that she believes herself that she doesn't have feelings for Michel, but could she really do something like that, ever? But to be honest, I mean, an act like that, I think what would happen is it would be very hard for her to do at first, but then she'd get used to it, and if it's eternal, then she'll probably not even bat an eyelid to doing it after a few months of doing it. But yeah, that is if she ever had the rage to begin it in the first place. But yeah, luckily she did not do that, which is good. Oh, sorry, I just glitched there. You do not hate him, but you do not love him as well. I think it's just what Morgana told Giselle. She messed everything up. She really, really did. Yeah, totally. Reasonable. Yeah, because if you torture him, you torture yourself as well. Of course. That's interesting. So, you're telling me that these people have been together for hundreds of years, and yet at the same time, the final outcome that decided just why Giselle wanted to be in Morgana's custody, I suppose. The final outcome. She's not even interested in hearing the answer. That really surprises me. Yeah, funny if she doesn't call her Giselle anymore. She's been totally converted. You're really telling me the world is wonderful when people like you exist. Sure. People. What even is Morgana? That is a good question. So is this the ending? It is the ending. Okay. Interesting. Are we getting credits now or what? So now I think the most sensible thing is to... Ah, right. Now what's cool is... we'll be able to... Yeah. Is there any sound here? No. There isn't, I'm surprised. But Jesus Christ, how many endings are there? I'm also quite surprised that we didn't get a Steam achievement for this. Yeah, nothing. That was interesting. It's surprising that with that ending, it's implied that the maid will lose her name, she will lose herself, she will lose everything. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't really think I know enough about Giselle to... Sorry, Morgana to fully predict what will happen. I hope we learn. No hesitation. Right. Yeah, totally. Whose voice is it? Interesting. I just find it so surprising how rooted in the supernatural this story is. I mean, how can something like this even happen? It's so unusual. Yeah. That's reasonable, yeah. She could, to be fair, but does Michel care? No. If anything, he is going to die if he doesn't. Well, his soul is going to die. It's going to have no purpose, I suppose, if it doesn't go with Giselle. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. He doesn't even care if Giselle doesn't want it. He will do it because he thinks that is what is right for her. Yeah. Is that your fault though? Can you... I mean, it's horrible that it's happened. It really, really is, but... my god, can you imagine this? Especially the body. Because those scars, they are still there. That is the most sick thing. And what's even more sick, if you ask me, is no matter how much she cuts herself, they will never ever go. Imagine if what she did is she hated those scars so much that she kind of got a knife, and then if she held a knife and then she, I don't know, I've got an image in my head of just doing loads of vertical lines downwards, so much so that the text is unrecognisable and it's kind of like a rectangle of scars rather than horrible text. But, I mean, firstly, how much pain would that require? Secondly, would that even be possible? No. And thirdly, why would you do that to yourself? I mean, Jesus Christ, all of this is bad enough, but yeah. I mean, I think why would you do that to yourself? The only answer is peace of mind, but yeah, that's not really the best thing to do at all. If anything, you'll probably go insane trying to do it anyway. Anyway, this is really dark what I'm talking about. Let's just stop. You need to talk to Morgana, I think. But it is interesting, when we saw the picture, I've actually got it on my... come on. What's my Fata Morgana channel on the server? It's interesting that when Michel gets an indication of Giselle, the maid just becomes totally twisted beyond recognition. But I suppose that's because of the fact that this person here just really, the truth of who she is becomes so twisted because you realise what actually happened. No, she's the woman you fell in love with is saying that she doesn't exist. But she's just changed so much and time has progressed so much that she's lost herself and she's physically changed. Obviously because of Morgana as well. But yeah. Really? Yeah. And he believes it with anything he can. And in the ending where he fails to deny it, he still believes everything. I mean, that is reasonable that she would say that. What is better? A love that literally lasts a year not happening, or nearly 800 years. Well, over 800 years of torture. Totally, yeah. Would it have been better to die then? Probably. Yeah. She only thought about herself, and she thought she was so selfish, I suppose, that she didn't really consider anything about Michel's case and his feelings. She only considered her own, which is reasonable. But yeah, she didn't think about what she should have at the right time. Yeah. Worst mistake of your life, yeah. To be fair, I can actually see why she'd think that, because all of this torture that she has been going through, I mean, she's been having Michel and seeing him and being reunited as a promise, but she's kind of used Michel and the love that she once had just as a means of propelling her forward and actually keeping her sanity. And maybe she questions whether she really valued the love for what it was, or maybe just so that she can escape from how horrible her conditions are. I mean, Jesus Christ, how do you fucking live without sleeping? I mean, obviously her body is totally different, and unlike a normal human body, without sleeping it wouldn't deteriorate and she wouldn't go absolutely insane. Because let's be honest, if any human being doesn't sleep, then they will go mad. I think like the records are like maybe 11 days. Over 10 days at least. And there was one guy who did it who Or he was obviously different after it. Obviously different. If Michel went for somebody else apart from Giselle, he would be a monster worse than... He'd be worse than Morgana. No, he wouldn't be. But he would be very bad. You've lived for hundreds of years. The fact that she is actually sane now is what I'm impressed with. I mean, I'm sorry, but you are still really impressive. Even if you can't keep yourself together. Just because of the fact that you haven't gone totally mad. That's interesting. Sure, she may be, but does that mean it's right? Yeah, Michel's insistence on calling her Giselle. That's a notable detail. No apology can ever make up for how long she has been kept waiting. But why did she have to wait for so long? Why did Michel hear the cry so late? Why did it take him this long? It's so weird. I feel like there's a lot we don't know about when it comes to the supernatural in this story and how the dead somehow have consciences. Totally reasonable if it wasn't for Michel's mistakes. This would never have happened. And isn't it interesting that Giselle finds it so hard to come to terms with her feelings, but then it all happens instinctively. But I suppose it's just hatred of herself, hatred of Michelle in a way, just because of the fact that she had to wait so long and experience this, and suppose inferiority, and also just insecurity as well from stuff like this. Yeah, it's good that everything ended well though. My god. Do you know what I find really weird? The fact that Giselle was meant to be somebody who exists, and yet at the same time, her... Well, no, it applies to Michelle as well. In the mirror, there was nobody there. Well, no, was it? Was it Giselle? Oh, I can't remember the detail. Fuck. I can't remember if it was only us, or if it was nobody who could be seen in the mirror. Do you know what? I might actually check. Okay, so I think it might be only the maid. I think we might be able to be seen in the mirror, which is interesting. Yeah, fair enough. The fact that she listened. What? Here again. Is this the observation tower? Why are we here? Yeah. That's so weird. They just casually teleport. This story is so weird. Like I said before, who can blame her? Learning the truth would just make him more sympathetic, surely? Michel says he's a coward and yet he didn't hesitate. Sure thing. Nah, that's not happening. He can't exist without Giselle. There is no point of him being here, as we've seen in the other ending. Yeah. And she even said that when Michel hesitated. You're telling me, what the fuck? That just feels so weird. What happens if they leave this place, though? Yeah. What would Morgana do as well is my question. Or is Morgana even a person? That's the most interesting thing. Well, no. And also, will Morgana ever get form as well? I'm sorry, but think about Morgana for a second and think about her personality and then tell me that she is going to allow something like this to happen. No, this story has not ended. No way, Morgana is going to intervene. Bet you anything. They can still do it, I'd hope. They all are different. I mean, Michelle's changed less than Giselle, but they've still both changed. True. Yeah, both of them have, but why? Yeah, exactly. So why does he want to do it even though he understands that? True. And the thing is, I mean, these lovers have done so much in order to be reunited as well. Could you imagine if bad living conditions could result in their relationship being affected after all of this time? You can never ever wish for that. No, you can never ever allow something like that to have a chance to happen, because seriously, that would be awful. Yeah. God, Giselle actually being happy. How? Oh, I like that little Easter egg. I've not really noticed this. Where does she stop becoming the maid? Oh, that's really well done. I like that. It just shows a total separation from the maid. And Giselle really regaining herself back. But it is interesting that the mansion has a supernatural existence, and also people like Giselle can just completely, sorry, Morgana can completely influence how the mansion works. Imagine if, oh, I don't know. Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, it is actually, I see that. Her eyes look so weird in her sprite here, can I just mention? I think the maid and Michel, ironically, sorry, well, these sprites of Giselle and Michel might actually be my favourite sprites in the visual novel. But God, I think the sprites in this visual novel are done so well, all of them. Yeah, ironic, you can totally tell one of the main qualities of Giselle. Yeah. And you can so tell how Giselle has changed. Michel? Yeah, totally. Fair. What was she going to say? Ah. Fair enough, yeah. Are they? If anything, I think time is one of the main things they have. This is where Morgana is going to fuck with them. Bet you anything. And after all, I suppose the mansion is the thing that made it so that their love could never be a normal one. I mean, no, it's kind of complicated because without the mansion they would have never discovered each other. But at the same time, without the mansion, they would not have had any possibility of being separated. Because had they escaped earlier, this wouldn't have happened. I hope these people have a future. I just really hope nothing happens. Good. Yeah. Best case scenario, seriously. Oh shit. What? What is that? Oh my god. Oh no. Oh. I predicted this, but still. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, oh god. That's not even possible. Reasonable. Why is it as if this house is a living entity that is as sadistic as Morgana? I know. This host is so weird. Just rank them in. Bitterness or resentfulness, especially when long-standing. Yeah, it's Morgana. What? Hang on a second, why is it white and red? That was not what I was expecting. I wonder if that could be telling us something. Oh my god. Fuck. This CG does not indicate many things that are good happening. But the only thing that I just really don't understand is why did this have to happen? Why? But Morgana's probably involved. Yeah, no, I know, but the thing is, what does this image tell us? You're being serious. But the only thing I don't really understand is just where Giselle was actually being taken to. And why is it the case that it's as if a void is consuming the mansion and they are falling? But where are they falling to? Are they falling into nothingness? And if so, what will happen to them? And what will happen to Giselle, especially if the mansion erodes and becomes nothing and just becomes in the darkness, she has to live because of Morgana, surely? That's weird. But I don't understand, what's filthy about all of this? If anything, it is a beautiful tragedy here. What's ugly about any of this? Surely there's beauty in the ending and leaving the mansion and starting anew. Yeah, true. She does. Yeah, she's a sadist. Seriously. Yeah, fair. What am I looking at? What was that came in the CG? Oh, it's, Giselle, but also Morgana possibly getting a form? That's unusual. Why are they hopeless? But I suppose they are hopeless because they both made the mistake of letting their guard down. But of course they would. Again, one of the many things in this tale that are very, very understandable. Oh, right now I get what she said. But why does it even need protecting them? Why can't you do it yourself? Loneliness. There was an indication of that, but... That's brutally said. That's unusual. Instinct is the fact that maybe Michel's soul has been reincarnated with all of the white-haired girls. Yet he's still not been able to realise the cries that Giselle has had. I don't know. But the only thing is they all have entirely different life stories. I mean, they are reasonably similar, i.e. people who have some sort of trait that has made it so that they suffer from persecution and kind of have to evacuate as a result of that. And obviously none of them have happy lives, of course, because that's too kind, isn't it? Yeah. But, yeah. It's odd. She really is like a marionette. I know, this is the sick thing. Oh shit. Look at this. That's unusual. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. So what's going to happen when it's fully stolen? Oh my god, so... God, this is what the witch looks like. Unusual. And ironic that she has a form that she has hidden for so long. Can I just mention that? She actually has the option to hide her form, which I find odd. This is awful. The worst thing is it's always so predictable, but if I'm going to be honest, I think the most cruel thing about this is their plan, I think, was always a bit unrealistic. The mansion is an entity too, and Morgana is here, so why are they going to be able to escape? No wonder Michel wanted to so easily escape the mansion, because he didn't want Morgana finding out. And I think he still definitely has awareness of the fact that Morgana is here. God, I really do wonder what's going to happen now. Yeah, my god, and it's totally like a reverse of before, ironically. Oh my god, look at her. This is an amazing CG, I really like it. God, look at that! It's as if Giselle was just part of the darkness. What does Morgana look like? What? Why the fuck did he Was Morgana Michel's love before this? I remember Michel saying something about, I know the consequences of falling in love with somebody, I should not do it, but I just can't help myself. That might be it. Maybe this is love. But how does Michel... Dude, I just love that these people have been waiting for hundreds of years for each other, yet they don't even fully know each other. But, yeah. Maybe not then. We know nothing about this guy's story, seriously. You've got to be serious. That's emotionally manipulate. How unreal are you? Yeah, I can actually see this. The position of being Morgana's guide? From her darkness. Be careful with what you say. Fair enough, it's too cruel. Fair. Look at who this is coming from. Really, can I really trust any of this? I want to hear her out though, still. God. Oh God. Don't you think that somebody is a little bit jealous? Fair. But he didn't exactly have a choice. Oh my god, what's gonna happen when he wakes up? If he no, of course he will. He's sworn to Morgana something. How are you going to get her back, though? The thing that I can't... Oh. Who's you? This is the house in Fata Morgana? So is this Morgana's? Oh, right. Okay, the story of the maid. Oh, I really do wonder what this is going to be. New beginnings. I will bet you anything we're going to learn about Morgana. Oh my fucking god, this has become very, very exciting. Where's my Steam? Alright, so that's the end of the 6th chapter. Okay, nice. Well, that was really, really fun. Holy shit. That was so hard to believe, all of that. Very, very eventful today, and I really enjoyed it, and my god, it's just going to be so interesting to see what happens in this story behind the story, and also with Michel, and also just in general, what's going to happen to Giselle. That is, if she's going to be able to exist. What I like about this story is it's really dealing with the supernatural, so there's a lot that I can't really tell. I mean, like, for example, Michel's going to try his hardest, but surely with my logic as a human being, that would tell me that he's just going to try for somebody who's dead, who's somebody who's been consumed by darkness. Like, what I'm trying to say is, because it deals in the supernatural, it's kind of hard to predict what will happen and what the result of Michel trying his hardest will be. God, I'm so excited. Seriously, this story is getting so good. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and then we're going to begin whatever the hell chapter 7 is. That is, if there's a chapter 7. I don't know if it's going to be called something different or not. Anyway, see you guys.